Hey everyone, welcome back. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Explained, achieve. Success with Stephen Covey's timeless wisdom. What if I told you that the difference between people who achieve extraordinary success and those who struggle isn't talent, luck, or even hard work alone? What if the secret lies in 7 simple habits that anyone can master? Today we're diving deep into Stephen Covey's masterpiece, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, a book that has transformed millions of lives and continues to be relevant 35 years after its publication. Over the next 40 minutes, I'm going to break down each of these 7 life-changing habits in a way that's practical, actionable, and immediately applicable to your life. But here's the thing. I won't just explain what these habits are. I'll show you exactly how to implement them, share real-world examples, and give you the tools to start your transformation today. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete roadmap to becoming more effective, more successful, and more fulfilled. So grab a notebook, because you're going to want to take notes on this one. But first, if you're serious about personal development and achieving your goals, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Before we jump into the habits themselves, we need to understand Covey's revolutionary insight that changed everything. For decades, success literature focused on what Covey called the personality ethic and techniques, tactics, and quick fixes. But Covey discovered something profound. True effectiveness comes from the character ethic, fundamental principles and habits that shape who we are at our core. Think about it this way. You can learn all the communication techniques in the world, but if you lack integrity, people will see right through you. You can master time management systems, but if you don't know what truly matters, you'll just become efficiently ineffective. This is why the 7 habits aren't just strategies. They're principles that develop your character from the inside out. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Covey organized these 7 habits into what he calls the maturity continuum, a progression from dependence to independence to interdependence. Habits 1 to 3, private victory, dependence to independence. Habits 4 to 6, public victory, independence to interdependence. Habit 7, renewal, sustaining the other 6. This isn't random. It's the natural order of human development. You can't have healthy relationships with others until you have a healthy relationship with yourself. You can't lead others effectively until you can lead yourself. Now, I want you to think about where you are right now. Are you dependent on others for your success and happiness? Have you achieved independence but struggle with relationships and teamwork? Or are you truly interdependent, able to combine your strengths with others to achieve things none of you could accomplish alone? Keep that question in mind as we explore each habit. And hey, drop a comment below letting me know where you think you are on this continuum right now. Habit 1, be proactive. Let's start with habit 1, be proactive. This isn't just about taking initiative. It's about fundamentally changing how you see yourself and your relationship with the world around you. But proactive people recognize a fundamental truth. Between stimulus and response, there's a space, and in that space lies our freedom to choose our response. Let me give you a real example. Imagine 2 people get laid off from their jobs on the same day. Person A, reactive, thinks, "This is terrible. The economy is awful. My boss was unfair. I'm too old to find another job. My life is ruined." Person B, proactive, thinks, "This is challenging, but it's also an opportunity. What can I learn from this? How can I use this time to upgrade my skills or pivot to something better?" Same situation, completely different responses, and guess which person is more likely to land a better job? The circles exercise. Here's a powerful exercise Covey teaches. Draw 2 circles. Circle of concern, things you care about but can't control. Weather, economy, other people's opinions. Circle of influence, things you care about and can control. Your attitude, your skills, your responses. Reactive people focus on their circle of concern. They worry about things they can't control and neglect things they can control. As a result, their circle of influence actually shrinks. Proactive people focus on their circle of influence. They work on things they can control, and amazingly, their circle of influence expands. So how do you become more proactive starting today? 1. Change your language. Instead of I have to, say I choose to. Instead of if only, say I will. Instead of I can't, say I prefer or I will choose a different approach. 2. The 30-day proactivity challenge. For the next 30 days, make and keep commitments to yourself. Start small. Commit to exercising for 10 minutes daily or reading for 15 minutes. The key is building your integrity with yourself. 3. Focus on responsibility. The next time something frustrating happens, pause and ask, what's the most effective response I can choose right now? Most people are reactive. Their lives are largely dictated by their environment, their circumstances, their past or other people. When something bad happens, they blame. When something good happens, they get lucky. I want you to pause this video right now and think of one situation in your life where you've been reactive. How could you approach it more proactively? Write it down, and then come back and hit the like button to let me know you did the exercise. Seriously, this stuff only works if you actually apply it. Habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. Habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. This habit is about creating a clear vision of what you want your life to become and using that vision to guide your daily decisions. Covey starts this chapter with a powerful thought experiment, and I want you to do it with me right now. The funeral exercise. Imagine you're attending a funeral. As you walk into the room, you realize it's your own funeral. You see family members, friends, colleagues, and community members. 4 people are going to speak. A family member, a friend, a colleague, someone from your community or church. What would you want them to say about you? What kind of person were you? What contributions did you make? What legacy did you leave? This exercise reveals your deepest values. What Covey calls your personal mission statement. Most people never clarify what they really want their life to stand for. So they drift aimlessly or get caught up in urgent but unimportant activities. Real-world example. Let me share a story about Sarah, a marketing executive who felt successful on paper but empty inside. She did the funeral exercise and realized that while she wanted to be remembered as a loving mother and someone who made a difference in education, she was spending 60 hours a week climbing the corporate ladder and barely seeing her kids. This clarity led her to start an educational nonprofit while transitioning to a role that gave her more family time. 5 years later, her nonprofit has helped thousands of kids, and she has the relationship with her children she always wanted. Creating your personal mission statement. Your personal mission statement should address your key life roles. Personal, who you want to be as an individual. Family, spouse, parent, child, sibling. Professional, your career and contribution. Community, your civic and social roles. Practical steps. 1. The values identification exercise. Write down peak experiences in your life. Moments when you felt most fulfilled and authentic. What values were you honoring in those moments? 2. The roles exercise. List your key life roles and what success looks like in each role. 3. Draft your mission statement. It should be personal and meaningful to you, based on proven principles. Address your key roles. Be something you can read regularly for guidance. The power of principle-centered goals. Here's where most goal setting fails. People set goals based on what others expect or what seems impressive, not on what aligns with their deepest values. When your goals align with your mission, you tap into incredible motivation and persistence. When they don't, you sabotage yourself or achieve hollow victories. I challenge you to spend 30 minutes this week working on your personal mission statement. Don't try to perfect it. This is a living document that evolves as you grow. And here's something powerful. If you write your mission statement in the comments below, you're 42% more likely to achieve your goals. That's the power of public commitment. So go ahead, share one sentence about what you want your life to stand for. Habit 3, put first things first. Habit 3, put first things first. This is where personal leadership meets personal management. You've defined what matters most to you in Habit 2. Now Habit 3 is about organizing your life around those priorities. Most time management systems focus on efficiency, doing things faster. But effectiveness is about doing the right things. And that's where Covey's time management matrix becomes a game changer. The 4 quadrants. Quadrant Y, urgent and important, crises, emergencies, deadline-driven projects. Quadrant 2, not urgent but important, prevention, planning, relationship building, personal development. Quadrant 3, urgent but not important, interruptions, some emails, some meetings. Quadrant 4, not urgent and not important, time wasters, mindless scrolling, excessive TV. Here's the revelation. Most people spend their time in quadrants 1 and 3, constantly reacting to urgent demands. But highly effective people live in quadrant 2. Let me tell you about Marcus, a small business owner who was working 70-hour weeks and still falling behind. When we mapped his typical week, here's what we found. 40% quadrant I, putting out fires. 30% quadrant 3, reacting to everyone else's urgencies. And quadrant 4, mindless activities when exhausted. Percent quadrant 2, strategic thinking, prevention, development. After implementing quadrant 2 thinking, Marcus reduced his working hours to 50, while increasing his business revenue by 30%. How? He started spending time on the activities that prevent problems and create results. The quadrant 2 approach to weekly planning. Instead of starting with your calendar and trying to fit in important things, start with your important things and build your calendar around them. Step 1, identify your key roles. What are the 5 to 7 key roles in your life? Professional, spouse, parent, health, learning, etc. Step 2, select big rocks. For each role, what's 1 or 2 important things you could do this week that would make a real difference? These are your big rocks. Step 3, schedule big rocks first. Put these important activities in your calendar before you schedule anything else. Step 4, organize around priorities. Now fit in the urgent and necessary items around your big rocks. The big rocks principle. If you start with small rocks, urgent but unimportant tasks, you'll never fit the big rocks, important activities. But if you put the big rocks in first, the small rocks will find their way around them. Practical quadrant 2 activities. Let me give you specific examples for different areas of life. Health, regular exercise, meal planning, preventive medical care. Relationships, quality time with family, meaningful conversations, relationship building. Professional, skill development, strategic planning, networking, process improvement. Financial, budgeting, investing, financial education. Personal, reading, reflection, hobby development, spiritual practices. Right now, I want you to think about one area of your life where you're constantly dealing with crises. What quadrant 2 activity could you start doing that would prevent those crises? For example, if you're always stressed about money, maybe it's creating a budget. If you're always dealing with health issues, maybe it's committing to regular exercise. Write that one quadrant 2 activity in the comments. Making it public increases your follow-through by 65%. The power of saying no. Here's something crucial. To say yes to quadrant 2, you must learn to say no to quadrants 3 and avere. This requires courage because you'll disappoint some people. But remember, when you say no to the unimportant, you're saying yes to what matters most. Practice this phrase. I'd love to help, but I have a prior commitment. That commitment is to your highest priorities. Transition. Private to public victory. Before we dive into Habits 4-6, let's pause and recognize something profound. If you master the first 3 habits, you've achieved what Covey calls private victory. You've moved from dependence to independence. You're proactive rather than reactive. You have a clear sense of purpose and direction. You organize your life around your deepest priorities rather than just reacting to whatever seems urgent. But here's where many personal development approaches stop, and it's a huge mistake. Independence is not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is interdependence, the ability to combine your strengths with others, to achieve results none of you could accomplish alone. Think about it. The greatest achievements in history were team efforts. The most fulfilling parts of life involve relationships. Your success, happiness, and impact are largely determined by how well you work with others. That's where habits 4 to 6 come in. They're about public victory, moving from independence to interdependence. And let me tell you, these next 3 habits might be the most counterintuitive success principles you've ever encountered. They require you to completely flip your understanding of how to influence others and create win-win outcomes. Habit 4, think win-win. Habit 4, think win-win. This isn't just about being nice or trying to make everyone happy. It's about a fundamental paradigm shift in how you view success in relationships. Most people operate from a scarcity mentality. They believe that if you win, I lose. Life is a zero-sum game where there's only so much success, recognition, and reward to go around. The 6 paradigms. Win-win. Both parties benefit. Win-lose, I win, you lose, competition. Lose-win, I lose, you win, accommodation. Lose-lose. Both parties lose, spite. Win, I win, independent. Win-win or no deal. Mutual benefit or walk away. Most people default to win-lose thinking, especially in competitive situations. But here's the thing, win-lose. Thinking ultimately becomes lose-lose because it destroys relationships and trust. Let me share a powerful example. 2 companies were negotiating a major contract. Company A, traditional approach, came in with a beat-them-down mentality. Lowest price, maximum terms in their favor, take it or leave it. Company B came in with win-win thinking. They said, what would make this partnership incredibly valuable for both of us? They discovered that Company A needed fast delivery more than low price, while Company B could provide speed efficiently. The result? A higher profit deal for Company B and better service for Company A. That partnership has now lasted 10 years and generated millions in mutual value. The abundance mentality. Win-win thinking flows from an abundance mentality. The belief that there's plenty of success, recognition, and reward for everyone. This isn't naive optimism. It's a practical recognition that collaboration creates more value than competition. People with abundance mentality genuinely celebrate others' successes, share recognition and credit freely, look for ways to expand the pie rather than fight over pieces, build long-term relationships over short-term gains. Implementing win-win. 1. Start with character. Integrity. Match your behavior to your values. Maturity. Express your ideas with courage and consider others. Abundance mentality. Believe there's enough for everyone. 2. Build win-win relationships. Make deposits in others' emotional bank accounts. Understand what win means to them. Keep commitments and apologize quickly when you don't. 3. Create win-win agreements. Clearly define desired results for both parties. Establish guidelines and parameters. Identify available resources. Set up accountability measures. Determine consequences for non-performance. This applies to personal relationships too. Instead of keeping score or trying to win arguments with your spouse, ask, how can we both get what we need here? Instead of competing with your siblings for your parents' attention, look for ways to collectively honor your parents while meeting everyone's needs. Think about a current conflict or negotiation in your life. How could you reframe it from win-lose to win-win? What would win look like for the other person? Share your situation in the comments. Sometimes, just articulating it helps you see new possibilities. When win-win isn't possible. Sometimes, despite your best efforts, win-win isn't possible. That's when you choose no deal. Walking away with integrity is better than compromising your values or entering a relationship that will ultimately fail. This requires incredible courage and an abundance mentality. The confidence that other opportunities will come. Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. This might be the most immediately applicable habit of all 7, and it's definitely the one that can transform your relationships overnight. Here's a question. When someone is talking to you, what are you usually doing mentally? Be honest. Most people are doing one of 4 things: evaluating, agreeing or disagreeing, probing, asking questions from their own frame of reference, advising, giving counsel based on their experience, interpreting, trying to figure out the person's behavior based on their own motives. What they're not doing is truly listening with the intent to understand. And here's the profound insight. You have to understand before you can be understood. The communication problem. Most communication problems aren't actually communication problems. They're diagnosis problems. We're prescribing solutions before we understand the real issue. Imagine going to a doctor who says, "I'm in a hurry, just tell me what's wrong." You say, "I don't feel well." He immediately writes a prescription and says, "Take this, it worked for my last patient." You'd think he was crazy, yet that's exactly how most of us communicate. Let me tell you about Jennifer, a manager whose team was consistently missing deadlines. Her first instinct was to crack down. More meetings, stricter deadlines, accountability measures. Instead, she decided to practice habit 5. She had one-on-one conversations with each team member, genuinely seeking to understand their perspective. What she discovered shocked her. The team wasn't lazy or incompetent. They were getting conflicting priorities from different departments and didn't know how to prioritize. Once she understood the real problem, the solution was simple: create a clear priority system and shield her team from conflicting demands. Productivity increased 40% not through tighter control, but through better understanding. The 5 levels of listening. Ignoring, not listening at all. 2, pretending, yeah, right. 3, selective. Hearing only parts that relate to you. 4, attentive, paying attention and focusing energy. 5, empathic. Listening with intent to understand. Most people listen at levels 1 to 3. Good listeners reach level 4. But empathic listening, level 5, is where transformation happens. Empathic listening skills. 1. Mimic content. Repeat what they said. So you're saying, "As I understand it." 2. Rephrase content. Put their meaning in your words. In other words, "What I'm hearing is." 3. Reflect feeling. Identify the emotion behind the words. You sound frustrated about. It seems like you're excited about. 4. Rephrase. Content and reflect. Feeling. The highest form. You're disappointed that the project got delayed because you were really looking forward to the promotion opportunity it represented. The magic of being understood. Here's what happens when you truly understand someone first. They feel valued. They trust you more. And they become exponentially more willing to listen to your perspective. But here's the key. You have to be genuinely seeking to understand, not just using these techniques to manipulate. People can sense the difference between genuine empathy and communication tactics. Practical application. The 24-hour challenge. For the next 24 hours, in every conversation, try to understand the other person's perspective before sharing your own. Notice how this changes the quality of your interactions. This is revolutionary in family relationships. Instead of immediately defending yourself when your teenager comes home angry, seek first to understand. Tell me what happened. Help me understand why you're upset. Instead of immediately correcting your spouse when they're frustrated about work, listen first. That sounds really challenging. What's the most frustrating part? You'll be amazed how often the problem resolves itself once someone feels truly understood. I want you to think of one relationship in your life that could improve. How could you apply habit 5 in your next interaction with this person? What might you discover if you genuinely sought to understand their perspective first? Drop a comment and let me know. Accountability makes all the difference. Then to be understood. Once you've truly understood someone, you've earned the right to be understood. And here's the beautiful part. When you seek first to understand, people naturally want to understand you in return. When you do share your perspective, make it logical, emotional, and ethical. Logical, present your reasoning clearly. Emotional, share how you feel about it. Ethical, connect it to principles and values they care about. Habit 6, Synergize. Habit 6, Synergize. This is the culmination of all the other habits. The fruit of truly effective relationships. Synergy means the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. 1 plus 1 are 3, 5, or even 10 when you achieve true synergy. But here's what most people don't understand about synergy. It's not just cooperation or teamwork. It's creative cooperation. It's about combining different perspectives and strengths to create something entirely new and better than either party could have created alone. The 3 levels of problem solving. Level 1, my way. I know best. Let's do it my way. Level 2, your way. Okay, we'll compromise and do it your way. Level 3, our way. Let's create a third alternative that's better than either of our ideas. Most people get stuck at levels 1 and 2. They either fight for their position or give in to keep peace. But synergy happens at level 3, when you value differences and use them to create breakthrough solutions. Let me share one of my favorite synergy stories. A manufacturing company was facing a crisis. Their product quality was declining. Costs were rising and employee morale was terrible. Management's solution: tighter quality control and cost cutting. Workers' solution: better equipment and higher wages. Both sides were stuck in positional thinking. Then they brought in a facilitator who helped them synergize. The breakthrough came when they realized the real problem wasn't quality control or equipment. It was that workers felt disconnected from the end customer and didn't understand how their role impacted the final product. The synergistic solution: create cross-functional teams that included workers in customer visits and product design. Workers got to see how their work mattered. Management got better quality and innovation, and customers got better products. The result? Quality improved 300%, costs decreased 25%, and employee satisfaction scores hit all-time highs. None of the original solutions would have achieved this. The power of valuing differences. Synergy starts with genuinely valuing differences, not just tolerating them, but seeing them as strengths. When someone disagrees with you, instead of getting defensive, get curious. That's interesting. Tell me more about how you see it. What am I missing that you're seeing? How can we combine the best of both perspectives? The synergy process. Define the problem together. Make sure you're solving the same problem. Share all perspectives. Everyone's viewpoint gets heard and understood. Brainstorm third alternatives. What solutions haven't been considered? Build on each other's ideas. Yes, and instead of yes, but create something new. Combine the best elements into a breakthrough solution. This works in personal relationships, too. Sarah and Mike were constantly fighting about money. Sarah wanted to save everything. Mike wanted to enjoy life now. Traditional compromise: save some, spend some. Both feel frustrated. Synergistic approach. They discovered Sarah's real concern was security. Mike's was experiences. Their third alternative: create automatic savings that built security. While budgeting for meaningful experiences, they could plan and anticipate together. Both got what they really wanted, and their relationship grew stronger through the process. Synergy in teams. The most innovative teams aren't made up of similar people who get along. They're made up of different people who have learned to synergize their differences. The detail person keeps the big picture person grounded. The risk taker pushes the cautious person to grow. The relationship builder connects with the task-focused person's results. Think about a current challenge you're facing. Who in your life has a completely different perspective or skill set that could help? You see new possibilities? Reach out to that person this week and explore how you might synergize your different approaches. The courage to synergize. Synergy requires courage because you're venturing into uncharted territory. You're agreeing to create something new without knowing exactly what it will look like. That's uncomfortable for most people. But here's the payoff. When you experience true synergy, it's exhilarating. You feel the creative energy, the excitement of breakthrough, the deep satisfaction of creating something meaningful with others. Habit 7. Sharpen the saw. Habit 7. Sharpen the saw. This is the habit that makes all the other habits possible. It's about renewal, taking time to preserve and enhance your greatest asset, yourself. Covey tells the story of a man frantically sawing down a tree. When asked why he doesn't stop to sharpen his saw, he replies, "I'm too busy sawing." Sound familiar? The 4 dimensions of renewal. Physical, exercise, nutrition, rest. Mental, reading, learning, writing, teaching. Social, emotional, service, empathy, synergy, security. Spiritual, value clarification, commitment, meditation, prayer. Most people focus on 1 or 2 dimensions while neglecting the others. But they're all interconnected. Weakness in one area affects all the others. The upward spiral. When you consistently renew yourself in all 4 dimensions, you create an upward spiral of growth. Each investment in renewal increases your capacity to practice all the other habits more effectively. Practical renewal activities. Physical, 30 minutes of exercise daily, healthy eating, adequate sleep. Mental, read 1 book per month, learn a new skill, write in a journal. Social, emotional, perform anonymous service. Practice empathy, build relationships. Spiritual, spend time in nature. Meditate, clarify your values, connect with your purpose. Conclusion and call to action. We've covered a lot of ground today, but here's the truth. Information without application is just entertainment. The 7 habits aren't concepts to understand. They're principles to live. Your next steps. Choose 1 habit. Which habit resonated most with you? Start there. Make a 30-day commitment. Focus on that 1 habit for the next month. Track your progress. What gets measured, gets managed. Find an accountability partner. Share your commitment with someone who will support your growth. Remember, these habits are built through practice, not perfection. Be patient with yourself, but be persistent. Engagement finale. If this video added value to your life, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content on personal development and success principles. And here's my challenge to you. In the comments below, commit to 1 specific action you'll take this week based on what you learned today. When you make that public commitment, you're 65% more likely to follow through. Next video preview. Next week, I'm breaking down the neuroscience behind habit formation and sharing the exact systemi used to build new habits that actually stick. You won't want to miss it. Until then, remember, your character is your destiny. Start building it 1 habit at a time.